for me, I was like really going into the year, and I thought I was prepared because I had done a lot of research and I had, a year to kind of prepare and a lot of practice games, but there was absolutely nothing that I did that could really prepare me for what I was about to endure. And there was a lot of growing pains through the year for me, just in terms of prep, and then obviously going on air, and there's things you messed up, and there's things that you make mistakes, and probably a lot like being an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
You think, hey, I'm prepared, and I got it, and I practice, and then you go in a real game of your rookie year and you're like, oh my God, like that's a lot different. It's a lot faster. Where are my eyes? What am I doing? And then, it gets a little better in week 2 and a little better in week 3. And then sometimes you regress a little bit. And sometimes you do things you really like that impress you. And then sometimes you're like, you forgot completely going into week 9. Like, how did I do that? Or what was I talking about? And then it's just, by the time I got to the Super Bowl, I was way more comfortable, and it was just a really rewarding year. And it wasn't perfect by any means, and I certainly didn't expect it to be perfect, but just excited about now going into year 2 with 1 year under my belt. And again, still having people that are on this journey with me that kind of have brought so much joy to my life, in my post-career. So it's been really amazing.
So, you cap off your first year with 128 million people watching your game. Meanwhile, I think back to my start in the business. I did a high school football game in Denver. Maybe 28 people were watching. It was just like moms and dads and maybe some relatives of some of these high school kids. Were you prepared at all for going through those growing pains in your first year on that stage?
Sure. I think ironically for me, and I was very fortunate, again, I played in 10 of them.
Yeah.
So there's nothing about the feelings and emotions of preparing for a Super Bowl game that I hadn't been through.
Yeah.
So actually I felt the most prepared I'd been all season. It was the only time that had 2 weeks to prepare for a game.
Yeah.
So I actually felt like I was ready to roll, and I felt great. And, all the things that when I watched the game back again, it wasn't perfect. I wish I could have got deeper in some areas or laid out a few times, but I'm like, okay, I was really clear with the information. There's a lot of things that were done well, and the game had its own, way, kind of got out of hand at the end of the first half, but the best part for me is I loved it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was like a kind of the icing on the cake at the end of the year for our whole crew. And it was a really fun Super Bowl week, and the prep was fun. The week was fun. And I'm just really excited now to pick up where we started at the end of last year. And I think this year is going to be a great year for us.
Well, I mean, you were famous for your evaluation.